And welcome traders, thank you very much for joining me, and this is Mike Hamilton for Trade the Easy Way, and I'm going to do a very clear, succinct appraisal of the markets as I can to help us all prepare for the week ahead. Now these indices, particularly the US indices, have had the biggest monthly increase since 2011. So why would you want to short this? At the moment this market is very buoyant with low volume at these highs now. If you look at the daily on the left, and you can see from these indicators, the MACD, we are beginning to run out of steam here, and the RSI is high, and we have actually a sell signal. We have a new high and a close below next day. So we're in the daily time frame we have a sell. In the weekly time frame we have a narrow range, and in the monthly we have a big bar. And the monthly, if you take these 4 weeks here, we're looking at a monthly chart that looks like that. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, that's a big buy signal on the monthly. So what I am looking for is this to ease back in the early part of the week, come into potentially this support, and then potentially spring up to the highs. So I'm looking for some early weakness followed by some strength as we get into the week. We have non-farm payroll on Friday, so we may end up with a little drifting around in particularly the first half of the week. The other main item of the week is UK rates on Thursday. Otherwise there's a splattering of data throughout the week, but not everyone's going to be focused on non-farm payroll. Okay, so watch out for, I'm on the monthly chart on this, and let me show you the monthly chart. On the monthly chart on this one, the pullback would be 2020, and we're 2080 at the moment, so that's a significant drop. However, on the daily chart, even something like 2070, just coming into 2050, 2060 is a potential area for that to pull back to. And a full-blown move down to 2040, I'm not expecting that. I think we will just hold potentially Tuesday's low or Wednesday's open. That's the kind of figure I would look for on that one before that makes its next move to the upside. So just a quick look at the other indices. There's the DAX. And you can see this weekly move on the DAX here on the right. We have this we're flat for the week, coming to the week flat. Finish the week flat, I should say. And you can see we are just narrowly under the 50% on this daily chart. So again, I'm looking for this 50 EMA to come into contact with the 200 EMA. That's the only two EMAs I've got on either of these charts. So to do that, we're going to have to drop back to at least 640, 650 on this one. And that would figure, based on what we've got going on on the Elliott. So on Elliott, I'm seeing 1, 2, 3. We're currently entering potentially into wave 4, which could sort of dangle down, and then wave 5 would be to the upside if that is going to happen. Bear in mind that Friday's close was higher, and we are still sitting within the Fed rates day. So the big day on the 20th on Wednesday. So that's why it could be that we just see a drop pullback to that the low on the Fed day, Wednesday. But I wouldn't at all be surprised to see if that comes right back to the 600, 640 area. Alright, now Forex. I'm seeing one major event that's coming up on Forex is the IMF could be about to make a decision on introducing the renminbi into the world's reserve currencies. If they do that, that could potentially have money flowing out of the dollar and into the renminbi, into the Chinese economy. If that happens, that's good news. That would support what I've just said about the indices, because a weak dollar is traditionally has a divergent relationship with the American indices because it helps exports, and that would support the potential move up in this pound US. Now, pound US has been really choppy. If you look at these weekly charts, we've been range bound for 3 weeks. We've got this 50 EMA underneath us and this trend line underneath us, so we could just bump into this and roll over. All the time we can't push higher. We could just and that is quite common with a trend line like that. If you can't break above it, it'll just knock into it and then fail. In the meantime, the monthly has engulfed the previous month's bar, just not by a significant amount of money, and this daily trend line, we've had a couple of pops to the upside, and here we are just under the 200 EMA. So if we come down and hold 370, I would look to see if that can push up back up to 160. And bear in mind what I just said about the higher close on the golfing action on the monthly. However, the downside of making a judgment on this pound US dollar is this flatlining 200 EMA. They're hardly, that's just being, we just moved around this 200 EMA. And so from that point of view, this is much tougher to call. However, I do really like the pound yen, and I have been buying dips in this on swing trade basis and trading around a core position for a while, and that's a close above the 50 and the 200 EMA on the daily, a higher close on the weekly, and the monthly is sat on the 200 EMA for the last couple of months and closed fairly flat. So there's no massive buy signal on the monthly. We keep closing higher on the weekly, and we've got a nice close above those moving averages on the daily. And you can see we have been range bound. We're still range bound, but I like the pattern. You can see this massive trend line I've got coming up, which goes right. I'll pull back in a minute, but you can see came down here and held. We're pushing into this resistance. We push back, and so I'm just looking for the support to hold. Another dip into 185 will be terrific, and then potentially going to see 190 and beyond. So I'm going to see if that plays out. I'm not putting my house on it. I'm managing my risk, and so I will still keep buying pullbacks. 185, 185.30 will be a good place to do that. Trading very light on Monday. Let's get Monday out of the way. Not a lot of data going, and so we'll see what happens. Other pound pairs. See the strength on this pound Aussie is terrific. Nice weekly close. We are actually a little bit of a spinning top on the monthly. I can show you what the monthly looks like without even looking at it, because this is the range of the monthly, and this is the open and the close of the monthly. So we've got a little bit of a spinning top. Alright, so I'm not trading, well, I will trade this one if we can come into this 213.50 area, and then potentially, because what have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the Elliott wave. We have 1, 2, 3. So interested to see if that can pull back into this area here. Major support, and then wind its way back up. Moving across, so quick look at the pound CAD. Might as well just look through the charts. I think that's a potentially stopping bar on the daily. In other words, an inverted hammer. So I think that's bullish. Weekly and monthly are not great, so I would stay put on that one. Into the euro. Hammer like bar on the weekly. The monthly is slightly lower, but not by much. You can see on this weekly chart here that this 109 saw us push up into 117. It's a tough call. I mean, the trend is definitely down. It's a lower close in the weekly. The MACD is showing the momentum has gone out of it, but any lower close, and the weekly and the monthly is lower, suggests that the path of least resistance is down, and this could just roll over. Euro yen. In other words, to cut a long story short, I'm leaving it and just concentrating on the pound yen this week. Pound yen, you can see on this weekly fibs. Again, let's do an Elliott wave. Count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C, D. Correction. Yeah, these are not hard, fast scientific waves. They're just indicators. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C, D. Correction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C, D. So we finally got there. 1. So if we can hold with this hammer on the 50%, so we're holding 50%, holding this range. If we can push up into 135, I think over the coming weeks we could end up the year at least back at 140. The weekly is a lower close, and so that does not confirm the move. Daily, we had a big day on Thursday and we closed inside that bar on Thursday, so that is hard to call. Euro CAD, Euro Aussie, not trading it, not seeing anything. US dollar yen, monthly it is closing higher but inside the previous month's bar. It's the weekly is just held within the previous week's range. Tough call, so not trading it. US dollar CAD, reversal bar in the weekly, a sell signal in the monthly. Lower, we just engulfed the previous month's bar just, and you've got this wave coming down, so seeing some weakness in the dollar. 1, 2, so we're in wave 3. So any kind of push into this area here could see that selling and then potentially rolling over. Alright, like I said, the only thing I'm liking at the moment is pound yen. But I will update you as the week unfolds. Particularly Traders Roundtable will do much more work on this. Gold. We're actually a higher close on the monthly. And all we've done at the moment on the weekly is come into support. Daily looks pretty awful. However, I do like 1130. 1142 at the moment. We come down into 1130 and get a buy signal. I would look to buy that. Oil. Narrowly higher in the monthly. Nice hammer high close on the weekly. We've We could possibly get that pull back to 45, 44, 45 area. We are above the 50 EMA. I would just be very, very patient and wait for a pullback to 44, 45. I would not engage this. Look at the divergence in the weekly here. The initial momentum off of that, once we did close fall into Hammerlight bar, was pretty swift. So I would expect that to drift back. Right. We haven't looked at the Aussie. We haven't got Aussie rates coming up. No, I don't think anybody's expecting Aussie rates to go up. There is a buy signal in the daily. Monthly closed higher. Weekly closed lower. I'm bending the rules on that trend line a bit, in that I've just run it along the open and the closes, not the actual lows. Would I trade that? No. Okay, so not finding much else to trade. Okay, I'm going to look at some bellwether stocks now just to gauge the market. I'm going to look at Apple, if I can find it. Very bullish bar on the monthly, spinning top on the weekly, so watch out for 115. We are a little tired, running out of momentum on the daily, so 11650 is the buy area on the daily chart. As you look at these stocks, they have been flying. That's Nvidia, Facebook. Ooh, quite a sell on Facebook. That's a big sell signal on Facebook. I think it's just a little tired. I think that's just profit taking. I would definitely be on the lookout for that big 100. It's just very extended. I think that's just profit taking. So just keep your eye out for that 100 if you're interested in that one. LinkedIn had a fantastic day. So two has some great results. I mean, just let it drift. Let's see if we get some shakiness in the markets to drag this down and give us an opportunity to get in this. It was a good setup. A nice 3, 4 days, 3, 4, 5 days here. Hammer on the 200 EMA. Got the 200 and the 50 trying to close up and cross. I just think that could well come back. You may only just get the trend line pullback, but that is a good stock. Goldman Sachs. Even though we've had a couple of days selling, I do like this stock. We're flapping around between the weekly 50 and 200. So my inclination is to watch out for a pullback into this area here. 183, 184. Not sure we're going to see it. but have a look. eBay, leaving it. Chinese Google, Baidu. Nice move. That's a little bit of a tough stock to trade. Let's have a look at some oil stocks. Because we've got oil pushing up. Patterson. Not doing so well. Bit of a stopping bar on the monthly. Not a great chart. Really stuck in a range. Could be a bear flag. These highs could be, we had a lot of selling from 1768. Keep an eye on it. See if it closes above 15. What's the other one I want to look at? That's not. Let's look at rig. I like rig. I think that's got room to go, and I would look at 1540 as a pullback with a stop on the 1480 area. Let's look at Diamond Offshore. Can't get through that 50. Closes above. We start closing above 2060, and I think that could lift off. Schlumberger. Not great. Let's look at some of the other stocks. Let's look. What else am I interested in? Right, I can't see anything at the moment, but just keep an eye on LinkedIn and a couple of others, and Apple and so on. And let's see how the market unfolds. Alright, I'll leave this for now, and then we'll do a proper sector look in Traders Roundtable on Monday. Alright, bye for now, and enjoy what's left of your weekend. Thanks, see you then.